Welcome back to Buzz Behind the Bizz. I'm happy to be back in 2026, starting this off. We're kind of get away from our usual employees and people that we usually do with now. Today, I want to welcome very special guest, one of my friends, one of my personal trainer, Tony Torres. Tony, thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you for coming.
Awesome.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I want to hear your story from kind of the beginning because what we talked about in the gym and stuff like that. I kind of know, and you've been on several different podcasts. But I kind of want to get into the weeds with it, and this is more of a business type podcast. So we always talk about where you are and what got you there, right? So how your life beforehand, your thinking, your bring up, all that stuff. So tell us who you are and where you came from and all that.
Tony Torres, originally from the Bronx, New York. Obviously, you're from New York. It's not easy pickings, right? It's rough, it's tough, and I always say, you come from New York, man, you can go through anything. Started as a boy in the Bronx. Went to Catholic school all my life. People wouldn't know that, right? But I did go to Catholic school. Went to Catholic college before I realized that school's not for me. I could learn more outside, and quickly.
Well, the streets, right? The streets of the Bronx.
Yeah. Quickly left school and I became a male stripper, man. Became a male stripper for some time, and there was money in it.
So when you say male stripper, was that like at a strip club, or were you like an escort or
Well,
something? I don't know.
I was a member at a gym, and it's funny how everything comes about. I was training. And I remember working biceps, and I'm doing my biceps, and everybody wants that
the bulge,
right? And I'm training, and I'm trying. And he goes, "There's one guy comes. His name is Frank. I'll never forget. He says, "What are you trying to do? You trying to get your ball?" He goes, "I say, yeah, man." And he goes, "Let me show you how it's done." He grabs the bar, and he goes and he kind of like turns what we know now as supination.
Right.
He turns. And he had a nasty peak, and he had the ball. And I was just looking at the arm, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want that damn peak. So I started doing it, and he goes, no, this way. And so he was showing me, he was guiding me through the whole movement. And after it was done, he tells me, what are you doing this weekend? And I said, nothing. Why? He goes, you want to come with me to a strip show? And I was like, strip show? I don't know.
It's a random question.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean strip show? He goes, yeah, I go in front of women and I dance and I take off my clothes and I make money. I was like, yeah. He goes, I said, what do you want me to do? He goes, just come with me, make sure they don't take my money, because when they put the money in, it falls and they, women always take it back. He goes, take my money, you just help me out with this. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. The weekend comes, I meet up with him and we go to his first show. And I'm observing the whole action, the way it's going down. And he goes in, we go to a room, the door closes. He goes, okay, I'm gonna take off my clothes. I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna wear my outfit. I'm gonna give you this tape. Back then it was cassette tape.
Oh, for the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you this tape. Give it to her and tell her to play the music, and I'll come out when I hear the song. I'm like, all right, cool. And what else you want me to do? He goes, just stay out there while I'm dancing. And if you see them put money in it, I'm probably gonna take it off. And if it falls on the floor, just grab it and come and put it in my bag. I'm like, okay, cool. And so that's what happened. But what he didn't explain, or what he didn't say what happened, was when he was done with the show. When he was done with the show, I picked up all the money, I brought it to the room, went back out. And as I go back out to get the tape, all the girls that were in the living room, they say, hey, what about you? And I was like, oh, no, I don't do that. And they're like, oh, yes, you do. Come here. And they all got up and grabbed me and took all my clothes off. And then I returned to the room covering myself.
I don't think they can do that in 2026.
No, yeah, right. Well, no problem. But I went to the room with my hands in my crotch, and he was like, what happened? I'm like, bro, they took all my clothes off. He started laughing. He goes, I got something for you. So the week after, I became part of the crew. That was
your initiation.
That was my initiation into the whole
So
deal.
how long did you stay doing that?
I stayed doing that, let's see, probably about 16, 17 years. Before I ended up in a place where I couldn't do that anymore.
And was that your only income at that point?
No, at that point, back in the day, I was a real estate broker.
Okay.
There was real estate broker by day.
In New York?
In New York. And stripper by night. It's funny because we'll talk later, and it all comes back full circle.
Yeah.
And I remember, it was it was a place where it was like kind of the Wild Wild West. You know, you could make as much as you want. There was no, regulatory issues going on. And nothing was really, it wasn't like today where everything you make is taxed,
Yeah.
you know. It was awesome, man. It was great.
So that was 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you when
I
you
started when I was 17, 18.
Oh, wow. So you started young doing it.
Yeah, I started young. Yeah, I was in high school when I
Did
was
they know
doing
you were underage?
it. No. I looked older for my age, you know. I had a mustache and all that kind of stuff, so
Jesus.
nobody questioned it.
So you were doing that. You were doing the real estate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After when you stopped the stripping,
Mm-hmm.
what? First of all, what made you stop? I know you said you, but
You know, you everybody has get, they grow up, they get friends, best friends, that kind of stuff. And growing up, my dad was like, never rat on your friends, never hit your sister, never hit a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, that's pretty easy to follow, right? I never hit a woman, never ratted on my friends. Always, I admired my dad like he was God. So whatever he did was gospel to me. And so, I had a best friend at the time, and he had committed a crime. When they came looking for him, he was at my house, and I didn't rat him out. I was not going to give him up for nothing in the world.
So they came looking for him.
They came looking
and
for
you
him in
said
my real estate office.
He wasn't here.
And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. All the while, he was in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, look, we're going to get you. You're going to go down for this, whether you know it or not. I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I can't. And then they grabbed me, put me up on the wall, and threatened me, like good cop, bad cop thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't help you, bro. It's like yesterday to me. And sure enough, and then we had to film the movie about it, so I relived it again.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, they set me up. They sent somebody to wearing a wire and questioned me about it. And I told the guy, I said, look, bro, don't ask me about George, because when the cops were looking for him, he was with me, and I wasn't going to give him up then, and I'm not going to give him to you now. So, but that was
admission.
That was admission. Right. So they arrested me, and they gave me 5 years for the charge was lying to a federal agent, and no one believed it. They were like, lying to a federal, that doesn't carry fact. And they looked it up, and they were like, yo, we apologize. We believe you. It carries a 5-year term. Same thing. Martha Stewart got charged for lying. 5 freaking years.
So 5 years. And where'd you spend those 5 years?
They took me to Rikers before, and they shipped me to MCC.
So this was all over in
New York.
New York still.
Right. Okay. MCC down in Manhattan, Pearl Street. And then I got shipped to Pennsylvania to Allenwood Prison and then Lewisburg Prison, where I finished my time.
So now you're in prison. You're 30 something years
32.
old? 32 years old.
Yes.
You're in prison now. What's your mindset at that point? Because in your
I was
head,
angry.
you were innocent, obviously.
Angry, yeah. I was angry. I didn't do nothing. I don't smoke. I don't sniff. I don't do drugs. I don't do nothing.
You don't rat.
I don't rat. I don't drink. I don't do anything. So I'm like, how is this possible? There's people that kill people outside, and they are walking the streets free. And I was angry. I slept. I must have slept, I don't know, 4 of the 5 months I was there, I slept. I just wanted to sleep my time away. And it was tough because, you sleep and they have count. Count is they go around 4 times a day. And they count all the prisoners, make sure everybody's accounted for. And you can't sleep while they're counting. They kick your bed and they wake you up. They want to make sure you're alive. Mm-hmm. So they would tell people, kick his bed, make sure he moves. So they would kick my bed and that was good for the count. But, I was angry. And then, when you're in prison, no one waits for you. No one.
On the outside.
On the outside. And I made sure I told everybody else, like, bro, don't wait for me. No, but don't wait for me. I don't need to be in here thinking about what you're doing. Like, everything's good.
I guess in there you have to think about yourself, right? I mean, you're there by yourself,
yes.
Your own thoughts. What are some of the things you're doing? Is this a prison where they have murders and everything, or this is like
this was a prison where they had the murderers. Mm-hmm. You go in first, and then next to it they have what they call a low, but they can't put you there first if they don't have a bed. So they got to put you with the
wait for a bed.
Yeah. And so I was there in the SHU, what they call special housing unit, in a box where what's called the hole.
Solitary.
Solitary confinement. By myself.
Nobody around.
One shower, 1 hour.
No windows.
Nothing. The only windows on the door, right? And so I'm like, damn, I'm here. I didn't do nothing. I'm in this box, right, waiting for my food. 1 hour a day, and I shower 3 times a week. That's the time that it's horrible. And everything is stripped from you. Your time is stripped, your rights are stripped, everything is stripped. You do and you do everything they say and nothing less.
I mean, your dignity, your will to
Everything,
survive, your will to
everything.
live. That's
And nothing makes you realize that more when you go to the visiting. Because when you go to visit, take off your clothes, bro. Bend
check
over,
you.
grab your cheeks and spread them. You're like, damn.
before and after, or just after.
Before and after, because before you want to make sure
You're not giving
and
anything,
then-
and not
and
getting
then-
anything.
Oh my god,
Wow.
it's horrible.
So how long did you spend in there? Total time.
They give you good time days, or if you don't get into any trouble,
Well behaved.
well behaved, right? So I think out of a year, they take off 53 some days a year if you don't mess up. And so I didn't mess up. I mean, we did stuff, but never got caught. So I got a clean slate. So yeah, I did it, and I remember they pulled me in the office like, you've been exemplary prisoner, and we wanna give you an opportunity to start life well outside, and want to give you money for a new career. What would you like to do? And during my time, I used to go to the TV room, and they had different TVs, and you would like cop a squad and watch the TV, and that would be considered, depending on how much time you got there, you kind of got seniority. So I would go there every day and I would watch the Food Network. And it intrigued me how you can take just a bunch of things and create something beautifully delicious, right? And so every day I would watch it, and I would write down searing and basting and all the notes that I didn't really understand. So when she asked me, I said, yeah, I want to go to culinary school. Okay, that's good. So they paid for my culinary school when I got out.
I mean, at least they give you something, right?
I got
But no, I get what you're saying, because when I was younger, the Food Network was something that I was glued to, right? That show Chopped.
Oh yeah.
Where they just give you a bunch of ingredients that like make something.
And they
that to
did
me
that.
was like,
Yeah.
what do I make? How can I do this? And in my head, I would make my own meals.
Right.
And I would scream at them, no, do this, do that. So I get you. I mean, I've always been a cook, and I wanted to do, but you actually went that route. Wasn't there, because you had told me there was a story while you were in prison too, that you figured out a way to eat that would help you lose weight.
Yeah, that
Was that during this time?
Yes, that was during that was just the only prison stint I did, right? But I wanted to come out a better man that I went in. So I was planning all these things. I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna come out an attorney. Right? I'm gonna all these kind of.
I mean, you had the time.
Well, you did, right? And the thing is that it was so embarrassing to me to have gone through that, because nobody knew, and I didn't want anybody to know, because it's such a stigma, with going to prison and
So
being.
did people just say, "Where's Tony?" And
Yeah, like
They didn't know where
I would
Tony
tell
was?
them, look, tell them that I went to law school, because that was my plan. I'm gonna come out a lawyer. So yeah, I went to law school, and I'm over there, and in 5 years when I come out something that I wasn't, right? But that went to shit real quick. And I went in, and I just got into. I was into fitness before, but I went all in on fitness. I ordered, books for kinesiology, so I studied kinesiology inside from.
so they let you order books and things like that.
Yeah, you can get books and courses.
Okay.
So I ordered courses from the Czech Institute, Corrective Holistic Exercise Kinesiology, which is Paul Czech, and I learned everything from head to toe on kinesiology. So I was, on muscle building, on bone, on correction, and in there, I'll tell you, prison is like another economy, right? And
It's its own economy.
It's its
right?
own economy. Yeah, in between those walls, it's a whole nother thing.
Different world.
Right, but very, very, very similar to the world out here, right? And I always say, based on what happened, if you can make it out here as an alpha, when you go in there, you become the alpha in there, and you make it in there just the way you make it out here, right?
So how did you do that? Because when you went in, I mean, I don't think you were as much alpha as you are now, right? Or
Well,
did you go in that way? Did you have problems in there with?
I had problems. That's how I became alpha in there.
Gotcha.
Because the alpha that I'm outside was in me.
Right.
My dad was alpha.
They
And
just pulled it out of you.
Yeah, and it does. You can't go in there just like that, because then you're testing others in there. And so my whole plan was go in there, observe. So I was observant, and I was watching all the plays, watching how everybody moves, because you have to, right? And I'd watch, and I'd see who was the alpha. So I would walk by the alpha often, not to test him, but so that he can see me and wonder, who the fuck's this guy, right? Is there cursing here?
That's fine.
Who the fuck's this guy? So one day, and look, my strategy worked the way I wanted it to work. One day he goes, yo. And I look to the back. He goes, yeah, you. Come here. And so I walk over. I'm like, what's up? He goes, what's your name? Jorge? And he said, Jorge. I'm like, no, my name's Tony. He goes, no, your name's Jorge. I'm like, all right, Jorge, what's up? He goes, no, just my name's Kerry. I'm like, all right, nice to meet you. And then I walked away. The next day, he goes, yo, Jorge. And he goes, what's up? You want to go to the gym? I'm like, yeah, let's go to the gym. And gym was my thing. So I'm like, yeah, all right. So we started training. He was the alpha. So it was like I became, by default, the Robin to his Batman, right?
By association.
Right, by association. So we created a bond. We started hanging together. We started, perusing together. And everything that he had as the alpha in there, he would put me on. So, for example, he knew the guards. He would go to the guards every day, or the guards would call him every day to the bubble, which is where the guards stay, and have him in there, and he would pass out the mail. The guards would tell him, hey, we got 4 beds, assign the beds. So he would assign the beds to the inmates that were coming in or going out. And Kerry opened the kitchen, so he'd get the keys, open the kitchen. He'd do everything. He was in charge of the whole joint. So, there were benefits to me being Robin, right? Yeah. Kerry, we got you on the roof job. You need 2 guys. I was called first, so I was making money in there with Kerry. Everything was because of him. One day, about a year in, wake up in the morning. I'm walking with Kerry toward the breakfast hall, and he gets into a beef with somebody. So he goes, watch the hall, watch the hall. So I walk away to go watch and he gets into it. And when I turn around, the guy, he got into it, his head was split open, down to the white meat, bleeding all over the floor. And I saw the cops running in, but since I wasn't there, I wasn't involved.
Right.
So they grabbed him and they put him in the hole. Kerry. That was the last I saw of him to this day. So never heard from him again. Next day, in the morning, through the loudspeaker, Torres, come to the bubble. So I'm like, what the hell did I do? I mean, I go to the bubble. He goes, yeah, Kerry's gone, so you're gonna be his new.
You're the new Kerry.
I'm the new guy. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now? He goes, all right, so here's some coffee. So now I got coffee from the street, and back then I didn't realize that. When I picked up the coffee, it had a new lid. And I'm like, oh, I've never seen the lid before. The lids they have now. Before it was just a flat lid. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this shit is cool, right? And I started giving the mail out to the guys. And so now when I had bed assignment, and here's where the commerce started coming in, I started selling the bed assignments. So I was like, yo, T.
Entrepreneurship right there.
Yeah. Yo, T, can you get me a bottom bunk? Yeah, you know what? You're on my list first. It's $75. So over there's no currency. It's
a commissary.
It's commissary. So I'd get 75 tunas because tunas were $1 a piece.
Listen, I know I'm saying a lot of these terms, but it's because of Mayor of Kingstown. not because I've been there. Not because I've been there. So
great show, by the way. Yeah, but it is a lot like what you see on TV. And that's one of the things where I was, I started watching all the prison shows right before I went in, just to get ready, right? But Did it
prepare you? Was
it is a lot. Yes, it is. In hindsight now, looking, I'm like, wow, this is just like. There's always someone running stuff. Mm-hmm. There's always some shiesty stuff going on. There's always somebody making moves. There's always somebody. Now, where I was, it wasn't so much of the violence because most of that happens in the state prisons. Okay. And I was in the federal prison. Not to say that it's never happened, but less where I was. Much, yeah. Right. And so, I started studying bed assignments. I became good at crocheting. So I was selling puppies that I would make for guys, families for their kids. They're like, yo, I need a pound puppy. I got my daughter's birthday in a month. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be $130. So I was doing my thing, and I was.
Your commissary was stacked.
I had stuff under my mattress, in my locker. They couldn't put more money in my accounts because every inmates get $250. That's it. Everybody has to be even. That's one of the things in prison where you wear the same clothes. Mm-hmm. You can't get more money than him because then people feel like. Okay. So it's $250 a month. You can't get more than that. So my mom was like, I'll send you money. And I was like, I don't need it. You can't put any more in there anyways. So I was always full. And Super Bowl, You want to talk about money? In Super Bowl, the gambling that goes on in there, pillowcases full of Max, full of sodas, full of stamps. Stamps is the highest because stamps, I think, is like...
To like mail out stuff?
Yeah, right. So a book of stamps like 12 or 13 bucks. I had pillowcases full of stamps.
And they were betting.
They were betting
for the Super Bowl
on
stuff.
teams, yeah. And you know, I would separate it and keep my portion.
You're the bookie.
I was everything because I was the alpha. You know, I was the guy to go to. Oh, you want something? Yeah, go to Torres. You got it.
That's crazy. All right, so then getting towards the end, now you're studying kinesiology.
Kinesiology and
You're
training.
studying training. You're starting to eat good inside.
Yeah, I started to. So what happened was I had 4 months to go before I came home, and I said, all right, I gotta come home shredded, better than I came in here. Because when I got arrested, I had a bracelet monitoring on my leg. So I was 4 months.
Oh, good before.
Yeah, I was 4 months on a bracelet fighting my case.
Like house arrest.
House arrest, and I couldn't leave my home. So I was
already
pissed
case
off.
animal.
I was depressed. I was pissed. I was angry, and I was just drinking and eating alcohol. And
So
all
was
that
the
kind of
last
shit.
time before?
I blew up to 230 pounds.
You at 230?
I was 230. A
have
fat
pictures
piece of
of those?
shit. No,
I want to see that.
I was a fat ass, man, and it was, you know, you want to disguise it, say, you know, yeah, I was big. And I wasn't big. I was fat, right? And you know, I went in, but 4 months prior to me getting out, you know, they call, they say, hey, Torres, come to the bubble, go to the bubble, and they're like, you got this is your release date, and it was 4 months, and I was like, damn, I got to do something. All right, I called my sister, and I said, do me a favor, find me online the guy who knows most about carbohydrates, metabolism, everything there is to know about shedding fat. And she found Scott Stevenson, Dr. Scott Stevenson, who now is one of my best friends. And she sent me all his works and his findings and his research. And I started reading it. And I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be rough. Because I mean, it's not like you get grilled chicken over there, you know? So I had to work with what I had, which was beef sticks.
This is the healthiest stuff you have in there.
This is the healthiest stuff. You had like those long turkey sticks. They were like a Slim Jim.
Yep.
You had rice, mackerel, and tuna.
Mackerel, the fish.
Mackerel, the fish.
Canned?
And mackerel, no, not canned. They banned those because of the aluminum. Right, so they had the sacks, the little sacks. So I had the tuna, and the mackerel, the rice, and the turkey sticks. And whenever they gave you chicken at Chow Hall, you go take the chicken, you bring it back, or you take 5 people's chickens if they don't want it, you trade something for something. And so I managed, but that was the only thing I had. I would start my diet on a Monday, and by Thursday, everybody does. But by Friday, I didn't have any more turkey steaks.
You ran out of all.
I ran out of stuff, so I'd have to wait for Monday to go to the commissary because on the weekends it's closed.
For your diet to start again.
Right. So, I was like, you know what? I can hold out. I can figure something out. But then Friday was movie night in the hall, so we would all go to movie night and we watch a movie. But what do you do when you get a movie? You want popcorn?
Snack,
you want snack? And I'm like, damn, I can't. I'm starving, but I can't eat shit. And I go to my locker, and all I had was Diet Cokes. And
Wait, is that why you still drink Diet Coke?
Yeah,
This man doesn't drink water, by the way. He only drinks Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
This is the most insane thing.
I figure if that's my only vice, I'm ahead of the game, right? And so Friday night would come out, and then I'm like, shit, I don't have anything. I don't want to ruin this. I would lose like 2 to 3 pounds that week, and then I'd mess it up. And
and
I'm like, what the hell? So then I said, something's got to change, man. The following Friday came. I go in my locker. I didn't have anything. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember always having a bag of it's called sweet and savory nut mix. So I had peanuts. I had a little bit of chocolate. I had a little bit of a bunch of little things.
A trail mix type of thing.
A trail mix, right? But without the crunchy shit. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just have a little bit of this, and hopefully I won't overdo it. So I would have that. I'm like, damn, I know it's gonna fuck it up. No. So come Monday, I was like 3 pounds less. I'm like, oh shit. So then I go back to the papers that I was reading, and in the literature that I was reading, it said, you disrupt the body's pattern when you throw something like that in.
Oh, so you're saying your body gets used to something.
And it stops responding. So then you throw in the disruptor, and that kind of kicks the metabolism back up, and it turns it back on.
Tricks your body.
Right. You kind of trick your body. However, you got to have a distance of time before you do that, because then you're gonna get into the point where you're doing good for 5 days. You do good for 5 days, you mess it up. You do good for 5 days, you mess it up, and then you go. It makes no difference. And so I'm like, oh shit! I said, all right, you know what? Monday I gotta buy my commissary. Let's see if we can do this again. And so I held off, not to Saturday. I held off to Sunday, and Sunday I did it again. And then come Monday, I'm down another 2 pounds. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I figured this out. And I did that to the rest until I came home. And I don't know, I must have lost like 35 pounds. I was lean, I was shredded. I did a photo shoot when I went home. And it was what I now, coined as, the Spartan Body Formula.
So you went in 230.
230, yeah. I came out at 164 pounds.
Right, so you lost.
Yeah, I lost
like
a lot.
60, almost 60 pounds,
Yeah.
50 something pounds. Yeah. That's crazy. So now you get out, you went to culinary school, right? What happens next?
I come out of culinary school. From culinary school, they suggest that we find some place to work out of. During the time I was going to school, I met a guy named Rob, who's in the fitness industry. But Rob was working on a franchise that he was creating called Muscle Maker Grill. And Muscle Maker Grill was a fitness restaurant. And the tagline,
I think I remember it.
You remember that? And the tagline was "Great food with your health in mind." And I'm like, wow. I mean, I wanna work in a place like that. So immediately I came out, and I went to he had a store in Brick, New Jersey. I went to Brick, New Jersey. I went in, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna open a store in the Bronx. So maybe I'll hook you up with Mario, who was the owner of the franchise in the Bronx.
That franchise.
And so I spoke to Mario. Mario said, yeah, I don't have my staff yet, but you can be the head cook if you want. I'm like, great. Here's my papers from school and blah, blah. So Mario opened up. I became the head, chef there. We were cooking, and it was an open concept. So this is the table. You're the customer. I turn around. I cook the thing, and I turn around, and I serve you here. And so I remember one of the guys that came to eat was, at the time, my landlord's brother, Adrian. He's in, he goes, Tony, this is good. Now this is 3 months of working there. He goes, Tony, this is good, man. What is this place? I'm like, it's Muscle Maker Grill, man. It's awesome. This place is amazing, bro. You're gonna get in shape. Your fat ass will get in shape real quick. And he goes, wow. He goes, they sell these? I'm like, yeah. And so right away, this turned on, and I'm like, what are you thinking? He goes, wow, I'd like to open. I tell you what. I said, if you write a check for $30,000, I'll quit today and we'll go open one in Miami. He goes, for real? I was like, for real. Yo, he took out a check and he wrote a check for $30,000 on the spot.
This is like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. I took it and I was like, are you serious? I said, I'm going to quit this job right now. Are you serious? He goes, let's go. And I went to Mario. I said, yo, Mario, thank you for the opportunity, but I got to go. And I quit. It was messed up. He didn't, so they had to call.
No 2 weeks, no nothing.
Time kills deals, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can't let that walk away. So we did. I did get that. And I had like maybe a couple weeks left for probation to finish. As soon as I went for probation, they were like, all right, you're done with your probation. Give me my papers. I went to Miami that same day. Moved to Miami. And I opened up a Muscle Maker Grill in Hollywood, Florida. And then I was managing another one in North Miami Beach. Nice. One of the franchises like, well, we got one in the beach, but we don't have a guy there. We want to pay you to go over there and manage it while you own yours. And that's what I did. I was running 2 restaurants. So it was
crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Oh yeah.
So how do you think the inside? You obviously have to have discipline, right?
Yes.
If not, you're gonna gain weight and you're gonna come out worse than you went in. So you obviously got that discipline. Did that translate to outside?
Yeah, 100%. Because there's so many options outside, right? The discipline that you get on the inside, all you have to do is flip a switch. Flip a switch and say, hey, how I looked and how I felt here is way better than how this tastes out here, period. So I was able to take that discipline, apply to every facet of what I did out here, and it was instant success. With that discipline, I was able to turn professional in the sport that I love. I was able to open up my gym when everybody said I couldn't. Actually, 2 gyms. One that down the block here. And then I had an issue with that. And instead of going down, I just said, you know what? Flip the switch. And I went and opened one up down the block where they tried to screw me over. And that gym still exists now, 8 years later. I was able to create relationships that now I have that have taken me to levels that I couldn't dream of.
Hey everyone, quick break from the podcast because I need to tell you something that's an absolute game changer if you live in Miami. It's Mosquito Joe. And guess what? Since they're the official sponsor of this podcast, we've got something special just for you. Look, we all know how brutal mosquitoes can get down here. Step outside for 2 seconds, suddenly, you're on the menu. That's why I started Mosquito Joe Miami, to make outside fun again. With our barrier spray treatments and misting systems, we kick mosquitoes out of your yard so you can actually enjoy it itch-free. And here's the best part. Because you're a listener of Buzz Behind the Bizz, we've got an exclusive deal just for you. Mention this podcast when you call or sign up online, and we'll hook you up with your first treatment for $49.99. But wait, there's more. We'll also include a free mosquito trap. This trap is placed in a conspicuous location in your yard where it'll stop mosquitoes from breeding 24/7 for up to. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your backyard dreams. Call Mosquito Joe Miami today or visit us online to claim your exclusive offer. Because when we move in, mosquitoes move out. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So now you're managing these restaurants.
Mm-hmm. I'm owning one and managing the other.
Oh, you're owning one and managing.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know you're owning one.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, Tony was IFBB.
I am.
He is IFBB pro bodybuilder.
Correct.
You're also a judge.
Correct.
Right? And
For
the
the
judge for the same
For the same sport.
IFBB or
Correct.
Okay. When during that time was it during the restaurants that you became IFBB?
After, why? Because I was in the restaurant for 2 years. I owned the restaurant for 2 years before I realized I knew how to cook, but I wasn't an entrepreneur real estate guy in the state of Florida. New York, I knew. But what I didn't know about Florida is over here, everything is in a plaza complex,
Strip mall.
Yeah, strip mall. And the way it works here is the rent that's being charged to you is based on the anchor stores that are in the plaza. I'm like, what the hell's a freaking anchor store?
Like the big store.
The big store that draws people to eyes on your stuff.
CVS or
yeah.
the whatever.
And supposedly, the more people in the plaza, the more money you make because you're. But what if they don't like that food? You're screwed, right? But I didn't know that.
The foot traffic is what they call
right.
it.
I was just excited that it was my store and it was my this and I did it. I'm coming out of here while most people are going back in. I'm coming out and I'm doing this.
So this is a good point because what you're saying is that you didn't do due diligence because you didn't know about it.
I didn't know.
You didn't know about it, which is a big learning experience,
Yeah.
right? Because when I started Mosquito Joe, that was one of the things that I didn't know either.
Right.
We knew it was a good brand. It was a good idea. We didn't know anybody that was doing it here. I think we got lucky. But if that wouldn't have happened, and I think we could have got screwed big time because we didn't know what we didn't know, right? Now, whenever I hear somebody that wants to buy a franchise, I'm like, listen, do your due diligence, call every franchisee. Don't call just the ones that corporate tells you to call.
Right.
Go on Google, find the ones with a 1-star, find the ones with a 5-star, call them all,
Right.
and have a conversation with them. Because if not, now you're getting into issues. If you would have talked to somebody that had one of these in Florida, like, hey, what should I look for
Right.
in order? And they would say, yeah, make sure you're in the right location, make sure you have good foot traffic.
100%. Yep.
But the way you did it was what I'm hearing is that you just got something somewhere that was available and
Right.
and open.
That's it.
And you think that was what made that fail?
Yes. I'll tell you why. In Florida, what I've noticed is people do things like ritualistic, right?
Mhm.
Cafecito in the morning with the little
Habits,
pancito.
yeah.
Habits, right? And those habits, unbeknownst to them, are what's keeping them from eventually becoming healthy. I don't know what it is. Well, maybe it's the freaking 10 breads that you eat in the morning, the pan de bonos and all that kind of shit that you think is not doing anything. And it's killing you guys, right? I'm not saying it doesn't taste good because I've had my mornings where I had 8 pan de bonos in one shot because I'm like that. But I know I can't do that. And so it wasn't as, I'm like, look, this is going to be a 100% like home run. It's hot all year round. They need to look good because they're wearing less. So this is going to be a hit. It wasn't like
This
that.
is what you think.
This is what I thought. Right,
These were
exactly.
your thoughts.
Right,
Not-
exactly, 100%. But what happens is, oh God, I go back to it. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, man, it's learning, right? I always say every loss is a learning experience. It's
But
not-
now, and I also learned that when you go into an establishment to purchase the establishment or to start the business, everything hinges on the rent. I had a
that can
lot.
kill you, yeah.
I had a lot of people. A lot of my place would be packed. But every month I'm like, why I gotta pay $300 to break even? Why I gotta pay $500 to break even? Why am I always putting something out? I was bleeding slowly. I was drying out slowly.
You were making money, but no profit.
No profit. And I'm like, I looked at everything. I'm like, damn, I rented. And when I add everything up, it's $23,000 a month.
Yeah, welcome to Florida.
I'm like, what the? And that was when I'm like, oh, okay, it's because of the anchor stores. Because I had Kohl's, I had Publix, I had, Bed Bath & Beyond. I had 3 anchor stores. I'm like, holy.
So you had the foot traffic.
I had the foot traffic. It just wasn't enough for the rent. If that rent would have been $18,000, home run.
Well, I don't think it was only that. I don't think the people there weren't ready for that type of
Right, the concept, yes.
The concept. Because now they're everywhere, right? All
Right.
healthy, Pura Vida, you have...
Everything's healthy now.
Everything's healthy.
People are looking for these healthy restaurants now.
Back then,
it wasn't
like that.
prevalent,
So people would rather go to McDonald's or go to what they're used to, right? Their habits that they would do, and not venture
100%.
out and try something new.
Yep.
Now everybody wants to try the new healthy thing.
Yep. And so I realized this, and I said, wait, man, if I don't shut this down and take what little bit I have and do something else, then I'm going to bleed to death. And I'm not going to have anything. So I decided one day, just cold turkey, I'm like, I'm going to shut this down. I shut it down. I took all the appliances. I sold them. I tried to salvage what I could. And I remember next to my store was a Massage Envy. Great owner, great guy. His name is Gary. And after I shut the place down, I was living in Pembroke Pines. I went to Pembroke Pines and I went to Whole Foods to buy groceries. This was like maybe 4 days after shutting down. I come out, I go to my car to put the groceries in the trunk, and I look to the back, and there was a orange place. I'm like, the hell is this place? I see treadmills, but it was empty. I walk in, and I'm like, what is this place? And the girl pops up. She's like, oh, this is Orange Theory Fitness, and we're looking for a trainer, like just like you. So, are you looking for a job? She goes, I was like, well, let me what's this about? Like, I don't know. He goes, hold on, let me call the owner. The owner comes out. It's Gary. Gary, I used to bring Gary food from the store, and I used to get massages there. So we had like a good relationship. He goes, Tony. I'm like, what's up, Gary? He goes, I own this. I'm like, you do? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're not in the restaurant. I'm like, no, I had to close it. He goes, what do you need? You need a job? I'm like, well, I mean, you're hiring? He goes, bro, here's the address. Go get your certification tomorrow. So I went, got certified there.
So before that, were you working out still?
Yeah. I was working. I was going to the gym. I was constantly working out. Yeah.
Right. So you close the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You start
Orange Theory. Correct.
As a trainer.
Correct.
As a trainer.
And then, like anything, me personally, I want to be the best of everything. Mm-hmm. Like I start here. I don't just want to be here. How do I master this? My thing is, try to master everything you do. If not, it's not worth doing. So what I do is I want to be the best coach in Orange Theory history. So I start doing my thing. Boom, boom, boom. So in Orange Theory, because it's a franchise, they have area reps, and they have they go around. They want to make sure that you're doing the brand properly. So I remember John. John was the best trainer on the planet with Orange Theory, and he'd go in and he'd evaluate us, and then you see him taking notes. So I'm like, damn, he's taking notes. What am I doing wrong, man? And so at the end, I was like, hey, John. He goes, Tony, good job. Let me just give you some. And they had like 100 things. 100 things. I was like, oh, damn, okay. I was like, you know what? Can you come back like in a couple of weeks? He goes, no, it's every 6 months. I was, no, I need you to come back in a couple of weeks. He goes, why? I'm like, I just need, I want to knock this out. I want to be, at some point, I want to be where you're at. I told him. He goes, oh, okay. So, all right, you're on your way. I'm like, yeah, but that's not, please. I mean, if you can, you can. If you can't, I understand. But he came back about 3 weeks later. And I'm like, give it to me. And he's like, all right, so look, man, you've improved a lot, but it was still about 50 things. So I'm reading I'm like, fuck, all right. So I did this for like maybe 6 months. Then he came in one day and I'm doing my class and I'm doing this. Now in Orange Theory, if you haven't been to Orange Theory, the coach, he's got music to contend with. He's got the treadmill group to contend with. He's got the floor group to contend with. He's got the stopwatch to contend with. He's got the mic bro, it's like the Navy SEALs of fitness. I always say, training. Bro, yeah, I always say, if you could train, you can't do anything. If you can do Orange Theory, you're good at everything.
You can do anything.
And then he came in and I'm doing my thing and and I'm joking with the members and I'm doing everything. So at the end of it, I was like, John, give it to me. And he's like, I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you. He goes, and in fact, tomorrow I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in a word at corporate to see if we can bring you up? I'm like, yeah. And so like, right, look, my hair standing. I was like, holy cow. I'm like, word? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, so yeah, call me, let me know. He calls me the next day. He goes, Tony, there's an opening for a regional fitness trainer for the southern area of Miami. I'm like, okay. He goes, I can't bring you in. We have to put it out in public and then just answer it, apply, and I'll pull your thing. I'm like, oh, dope. I applied right. He pulled my thing and they called me for the interview and I got the job. So I became the master trainer for all of South Florida. So now I would go to every Orange Theory and do what he did with me.
That's crazy.
Right? And so I did that for 6 months. And then they said, Tony, we need, and they were going international now. We need an international master trainer. And you're the only coach here in corporate that speaks Spanish as a coach. He goes, would you like to be our international? And so I became the international. And now my fear of flying, I was like, bro, you got to fly to Mexico. You got to fly to Puerto Rico. You got to fly to Colombia. So I opened Colombia. I opened Mexico and that kind of stuff. And my fear of flying was still there. But
the fear of flying we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to
talk. Let's talk about it a little bit. It's funny you talk about Orange Theory because I'm part of some other franchise groups and things like that. And I've met a lot of owners from Orange Theories. And one in particular, Ryan Casey, he's been like in the top 3, like top Orange Theories in the U.S.
Right.
So it's very cool to see, that brand is very cool. It's different, right?
It's very, right. They were the pioneers of that.
Of all that, like
100%.
F45 stuff, all those.
Ellen Latham, she's the creator. She's an awesome human being. She's an awesome person. She's amazing.
All right, so now you're training trainees. Are you training yourself at Orange Theory at this time? You're are you using
I was still going to my gym, training my way because it's a very different methodology.
Yeah, one's more cardio, one's more.
Yes, correct, 100%. So I was still doing that, unfortunately, I had to leave Orange Theory because, after having done and becoming the best that I could be in Orange Theory, the next step above that is become an owner, right? So I saw an opportunity where I said, I can do this. I can own one of these. Where eventually that's where everybody wants to be because it's just the next logical step. I went to Ellen, the owner, and I said, Ellen, do you have any franchise licenses? And she goes, well, I was going to open up Bar Harbor, but I'm not going to do that because I just opened up Cooper City. So you can go ahead and have that one if you want. So I go to the franchise guy who does all the franchises with a separate department, and I ask him, hey, I want to invest in this, and I want to become owner. And he goes, you know what? Let me check with the field office, and I'll let you know. I know it's available. The freaking creator told me she's not doing it. That was her license. Guy comes back and he's like, no, we don't have any more licenses left. Sorry. And so now I know he's lying. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so I can be your, the guy who brings you thousands and hundreds and thousands of dollars in fees and training and all that, but you won't give me the opportunity to be at your level. All right. Are you sure? He goes, yeah. I'm like, because I just spoke to Ellen. Oh, you spoke to Ellen? Yeah, I spoke to Ellen. She said that I can have this license. He goes, yeah, well, I'm like, okay, no problem. The next day, I submitted my 3-day resignation. I said, no more.
Yeah, because you kind of feel like they treat you.
So I want to be a little puppy, and you don't want to let me be part of the handler? No, not me. That's not.
All right, so you put in your 3 days.
Yeah, put in my 3 days notice.
So 3 days pass by.
Not even 3 weeks.
You leave. What's the next step?
So I had some money, and I said, I started, thinking more about competition, bodybuilding. Yeah. Right. So I said, I have some money left. The fitness business is my life. It's what I know best. It's what I do best. And so I said, let me invest and open up a gym because at that time I was competing, and there was one hardcore gym franchise, you could say. I think there were 4 locations, and it was Porky's, the Porky's brand. It was really like, what everybody was comfortable with, they liked. And so I said, I'm going to see if I invest in a gym because I like the Porky's brand. Bro, not 3 weeks after I say that to myself, they got bought out by UFIT.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot go to they took away all the heavy weights.
I remember Porky's. I used to go to Porky's.
Yeah, and no slamming of the weights. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, what now? That really put the fire in my butt to open up, a gym. So I think within weeks, I started scouting places and went to a spot not too far from here and saw the owner. It was a training studio. And I asked him, hey, are you looking to sell some of this equipment? He goes, no, I've been here 5 years. I'm losing money every month, but I just like being in the.
So he was paying to be there.
He was paying to be there. He
Not
had
a great business plan.
It was, again, bleeding out. And so he was there. He had some trainers who were training clients, but it was a small studio. And I said, you know what? Why don't you sell me that rack of dumbbells over there? Because it seems like nobody uses it. He goes,
dusty.
Yeah. He goes, all right, I'll sell it to you. So now my thing went from opening this to buying all the equipment first, which is my blueprint. I'll buy all the equipment first. When I have everything, then I'll get the spot and I can start right away, as opposed to renting the spot, paying rent, and then trying to get all the equipment. I did it backwards.
Yeah, which is smart, because a lot of times, like even like restaurants, and my cousin's in the restaurant industry, and it's a different industry, but they'll usually pay about a year worth of rent without ever opening.
It's insane.
So if you don't have the backing, the money to do that, you're never gonna make
You're
it.
closed before you open.
Yeah. So doing it that way, it was a little bit easier for you because you just had to hoard this hardware first.
Right.
And then
And the yard. It was not even it was in the yard. I had blue tarps over with the rain. I mean, it was crazy. But it was, you know what? I call it, like Robert Rodriguez style.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Opening a gym on a budget, however you want to call it. But it worked. It worked for me. And so I bought the rack of dumbbells. I took them home, put them in the backyard, torqued them up. And the guy that I bought the dumbbells from calls me up and he says, yo, when you're done with what you're doing, come to the studio. I want to have a conversation with him. I'm like, all right, cool. I go over there. He goes, how would you like to be my partner here? And we can open up a gym that your vision in this place. And I looked around and I was like, I don't know. I don't like partners. It's really because it's my vision and I don't want my vision to impede on your vision. And I just want to be open and I don't need partners. I just, it's got to be bodybuilding. It's got to be posing room. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but that's what I want to do. And I'm like, yeah, but so I was trying to not do it. And then he was trying to do it. And eventually I just did what I advise nobody to do, which was stick out your hand. I did a handshake deal when before I got arrested, it used to mean something. And now it means shit because 2 years in after bringing that place to.
So you had no payroll, no operating agreement, no partner.
Nothing. I had this.
Jeez.
And I guess, to people age 40 and over, it means something. To people 40 and under, it doesn't mean shit. Mm-hmm. But I remember at that gym, at that point I was competing and I was a judge. So I had the influence of athletes and of judges and stuff like that. So I can bring them to my.
Is that not a conflict of interest?
What?
To be a judge and a competitor?
It is. Not a conflict of interest. What you cannot do is judge somebody you're training. You know what I mean? Because if I'm training him, then obviously I'm going to favor my guy.
But are you also judging people that are competing with you?
No,
like in their own shows, in different shows?
No. I'm not, because I was at that point I had become pro. So I was judging NPC, which is the amateur version of where I'm at.
Okay. So you're judging a different
category, correct. Different level of competitors. And so I was judging my people and then letting them know when they give the critique, hey, if you're not happy at your gym, we have a gym here, hardcore gym, really nice, a lot of pros go in there because of, obviously I'm friends with pros. And so people were drawn to that. Oh, it's pros training, I want to go there, because they want to get next to the people that know what they're doing. And so that gym, I remember I had that gym making at one point $18,000 a month. The rent there was like $2,000.
All right, so now
it's
back to where it should be.
Now we're looking good. And I was there 7 days a week, and I was the type where I wouldn't take from the drawer. I wouldn't even take a check. I would leave it there, we'd put it back in the business, that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, I had nothing to show for it.
So you weren't even getting a salary?
No.
So how were you paying bills?
We would take whatever from the money that was made and paying the money, the account.
Your own bills, not the business bills.
Right, the business bills. I was a
Your
trainer.
bills.
I was a trainer. So
Okay, so
I was
so
training.
you're making money from training.
Right.
Okay.
But not from the business.
Gym,
But the money was in the business, right? The bulk of the money was made in the business. And also the account was in my partner's name because he already had the account built, which was another mistake.
He didn't add you.
No, it's another mistake.
Jeez.
Yeah. But again, I trusted the handshake. I trusted the person. You know, he didn't look like a scammer or whatever, but
Looks can be deceiving.
right. He was in that studio. He was a 10% partner with another person.
So it wasn't even his. So you were basically 3 people.
Yeah. He had 90.
Did you know that?
No, he hadn't. I found that out after the shit was being done already. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, 10%. What the fuck is 10%? So I just let it go. So it was 45, 45, 10. We had a couple people on staff, and most of them were girls. All of them were girls. But the 10% guy was handling the girls, schedules, that kind of stuff. He was just more busy doing other stuff than the schedule. So the schedule was always being messed up with the girls. And the girls would be like, hey, Tony, can you tell me something about the schedule? Because, I'm supposed to work here and she's supposed to work here, but, it's not. And so I would fix the schedule, but he wouldn't like it. So there was a beef and a rift between me and him. And it got so bad that I told the guy, look, if you don't want to be here, bro, don't come. Just tell me I'll buy you 10% and you can do whatever the hell you want to do and not have to worry about this. He used to hate being there. And so it got to the point where now I sat my partner in the office and I said, look, this guy's having a problem with this. I'll buy him out. And so we don't have this issue because it's causing a problem, right? He goes, no, if anybody's going to be bought out, it's going to be you. He told me that. And I was like, me? I thought I was going to be punked. Something was going to happen. And I said, I'm going to be bought. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, he's going to be here. I'm like, wait. You know what? You want to buy me out? Buy me out. But I'm not going anywhere. You probably can't even afford to buy me out. I built this place, I told him. He goes, you built this place? He says, you built it? I was like, I built this place, bro. I said, when I came here, you were paying every year to be here.
Losing, yeah.
Yeah. We're making this amount of money to be here. So, and if you want to buy me out, look at what we're making now compared to what you were making when you were here alone. So you better think long and hard before you want to tell me to, buy me out. The shit hit the fan. I got an attorney. Apparently, when I went to get the attorney, he tells me, wait a minute, is this about a gym? I'm like, yeah. How do you know? He goes, oh, what's the name of the gym? I said, Flexappeal.
There.
I don't want to say the name. But anyway, he goes,
We can bleep it out.
yeah. He goes, they just hired my partner like 2 months ago. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, they have him on retainer 2 months ago about this gym. I'm like, for what? They were like something about them being owners, sole owners. And I was like, bro, they were planning to fucking throw me out already a time ago. So I'm like, all right, how much to fight? Because look, here's my paperwork. He goes, clearly you're the owner. He goes,
so you did have paperwork.
I had everything was under my name.
Okay.
The name Flex Appeal was under my name.
Oh.
Every name was under my name. So it was my gym. He had the bank account under the old name, but the lawyer tells me, look, we can fight the case and clearly you're gonna win, but it's gonna cost you $100,000 to litigate. I'm like, what? I didn't know nothing about that either. I never had to do that. I'm like, well, wait a minute, don't you work on my behalf and if we win, you get some shit? That's what I thought. He goes, no, it's gonna cost you $100. I said, you want? He goes, let me give you some free advice. This is gonna be the best advice you're gonna give, and I'm not gonna charge you a dime. He goes, you're saying all these people are here because you brought them here. I'm like, yeah, 100%. I mean, competitors, judges, they're all here because of me.
Take them with you.
He goes, you gonna open up another gym? I'm like, yeah. He goes, open up another gym down the block and they'll come. Get another name and go down the block. And that's what I did. As you can see, it's right there. And about 75% of the people went from there to me. And it's 8 years and I'm still pumping there,
What's happened with the old gym?
It's still there. I don't know how they got. Look, I don't know how they got around the county because while I was there, county was coming like weekly to give them inspections. Why? Because they're in a warehouse zone where you're only allowed 2 parking spaces per spot, and you cannot open up a gym in that spot because you're taking up every other person's parking spot.
Right.
So I start complaining, and clearly they must know somebody, because. But apparently they're still there. Unfortunately, my partner that I had the 45, unfortunately he got into a real bad accident. He got killed.
Oh, jeez.
Changing a flat tire. A drunk driver ran into him while changing a flat tire, and he's no longer alive.
That was the owner of the old gym.
That was the owner of the old gym, right? But the old gym now still exists with I don't know, it has 8 partners or some disaster like that, and whatever. But that's that's how I ended up with my own gym, Iron Temple.
Nice.
And it's been now open 8 years, successfully.
All right, so now you're not Iron Temple.
Now Iron Temple is in existence. It's funny because I was building Iron Temple, and there was one guy, while I was building it, because I went in there alone. I had already accumulated 40 pieces from
of hardware,
of equipment, right? Every time I would get paid, I would take part of a check and I'd go to Craigslist or somewhere and buy a piece and bring it and store it. And then before I started looking for the spot, I went and I bought a yellow spray can and I painted everything. And it's funny because I painted it yellow because there was a gym that while I was in transition that I was going to called Miami Iron. Mm-hmm. And Miami Iron is yellow and black. So I knew the owner, and cool guy, really, really nice guys. They were firefighters. Mm. And I had told them, oh, congratulations on the place. They had opened 6 months prior. And I said, what would you charge me for a franchise just because I love the stuff and I'd hate to open up a gym looking like this and not give you credit or be part of it. Right. And he goes, you like the gym? I'm like, yeah. He goes, bro, just do it. Just don't change any designs. Do everything the same. And I'm like, are you serious? You would allow me to do that? He goes, yeah, I would. I was like, bro, I wanted to give him the respect to ask him. And he goes, yeah, go ahead. And I went and I started painting the equipment yellow. And 2 weeks later, I came back. All my equipment was painted. I came back. I said, yo, I'm done. You want me to call it Miami Iron 2 or Miami Iron Kendall? And he goes, well, you know what? Let me speak to my attorney. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he already agreed that. So I said, all right, you know what? I'll come back next week. You let me know. He goes, yeah. So I came back the following week. We had a conversation. The conversation had nothing to do with business or the name of the gym. And I already knew that he didn't want it. But I was not going to repaint my freaking machines.
But you know what? He probably did you a favor.
Probably, yeah. Because, yeah.
Because if not, you would have had to
kick off something. Exactly. So I said, I'm not going to repaint my machine. I already painted them yellow based on what you told me. And so my gym now gets confused for Miami Iron, because it's yellow and black.
Does theirs get confused with Iron Temple?
No, because they were open before I was.
Gotcha.
Right? So gotcha. I get a lot of people coming in. Yeah, we saw your gym. I was like, yeah, I don't have my gym on that site. So, but you're welcome to train, and they come and they stay anyway. The only difference is with mine's 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was I got my stuff together. Then I found the spot, and I negotiated the landlord for a 6 months build out.
Okay.
And she gave me a 6 month build out. But I, because of my experience with the last gym, didn't want any help. And it took me 3 weeks to move everything to the spot. But as soon as I opened the doors, I was making money.
Right.
Because I didn't have to pay for 6 months.
Oh, I got you. So you opened in 3 weeks.
I opened in 3 weeks.
And you had six months.
By myself. I didn't even get a moving truck. I got a tow truck because a friend of mine owned the tow truck.
Nice.
And he put everything on the flatbed. And when we came back, he lifted the flatbed and
you slid off. All right, so you've opened your gym. I kind of want to go back to something you said earlier. You said you had a fear of flying.
Yeah.
I'm going to preface this a little bit. I became a private pilot a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've wanted to do for many years. My grandfather was a pilot. My cousin actually became a pilot not too long ago as well. And I've had this thought for about, I don't know, maybe 10 years or more, and then I've been doing it. In the past 5 years, I started buying books. I didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. I had all the equipment. I had a logbook, but no school, no plan, no nothing. I knew it was gonna happen. So actually, the first day that I went to train with you, you had me doing some exercise, and I see you walk away. talking to somebody, and you were playing with a pilot logbook, and you were going through it, and you come back to me, and I'm like, man, I gotta ask him. I was like, is that a logbook for pilot? He's like, yeah. I've been flying, but my logbook got wet in the car. I left the window open, and my CFI was redoing it for me. And I was like, man, I want to be a pilot. And then you said, I mean, that's my CFI. What, you want to talk to him? I said, yeah. And then literally the next day, I was up in the air with Hernandez at CFI, and that all started because of you. So I want you to kind of go to your story of why you had a logbook and why you said you had a fear of flying, but now you're flying yourself.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
Yeah. While I was in prison, I when you have everything taken from you, you start to think and you start to realize everything that you've missed, that you've lost over stupid decisions and things that happened. And so one of the things that I said, if I'm in this place forever, I would never have known what it would have been like to see the world, to see, Japan, London,
to travel.
And I say that because while I was outside, I was also a professional salsa dancer. And I was on a team.
What weren't you a professional?
I was, I'm telling you, I'm one of those
Master
guys
of
where
everything.
I tell people, if you ever have an issue or need something, ask me. Chances are I've done it or know somebody that has, that I can help you out. While I was on a team, part of the deal was we would travel the world and do performances or do demos or exhibits on salsa, on mambo. And this whole flying experience happened one time. Me and the team, we went to the first ever salsa congress, right? Number one. I think we're at 35 now, and most of them happen here in Florida, right? Congreso de Salsa, right? And so now it's like 35, but I was at the very, very first one that happened in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And it was on the weekend that Princess Diana died. How do I know? Because when we came back from the performance, it was on the news in the hotel that she died, in some freaking tunnel somewhere. But that night, we were packing our stuff, watching the news, and we were on the way to the airport, got on the plane, headed to New York. And while headed to New York, at one point, the airplane dropped. First of all, I was scared of flying. Secondly, the airplane just dropped. I don't know what happened, but it dropped.
Major turbulence.
Man, it wasn't even turbulence like plane was shaking. Yeah. It just dropped. And when it dropped, it felt like it hit. And then it went to the right, and then it went to the left. Masks came down, freaking those trucks, the little carts, the food carts coming. Everybody was crying.
Grab a drink on the way.
I grabbed the armrest. I think my nails are still in that freaking armrest. And I prayed. I said, if I land tonight, I will never fly again. Please get me home safe. Well, the plane landed. That was in '89. I didn't fly. I didn't fly again till
the Orange Theory.
To Orange Theory. So imagine, this was in '96. Orange Theory, 2020 something, right? So I was foolish, right? Because of.
I mean, it's something you say in the.
Yeah, and it's something that you can't. It's not under your control. It's the person who has that, the freaking. It was driving the plane, and I said, when I get out of here, if I get the opportunity, I want to see the world, because I just missed it. Every time that the team was going to London, I'd say, hey, replace me, put somebody else in there. I only do New York shows, which I did a lot of New York shows, but I didn't go to London. I didn't go to Japan. I didn't go to, Paris. I didn't go.
You were missing out on a lot of
everything,
cool
experiences, places, relationships, and I missed out on a lot. So one day, 3 years ago, I woke up. It was on a Thursday. Why I don't remember. I don't know. It was a Thursday. I got up. I sat on my bed. And I said, "I'm gonna break this fear of flying." And I went to Tamiami Airport, and I went inside. And I told the guy, "Yo, how much you charge me to take me up on that thing right there?" He goes, "On the plane?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, $150. I'm like, "Okay, let's go." He goes, "For real?" I'm like, "Let's go right now." He goes, "Okay."
If not, I'm not going.
If not, I'm not going. Catch me while I'm hot, man. Time kills deals. So I got in the plane, and I gotta admit, it was cramped, and he went up, and I was shaking in my boots.
What kind of plane was it?
It was a Cessna, 172.
172 or 150?
Yeah, 172.
Oh. You got lucky. My first one was 150.
Was it? Oh, shit, no. Yeah, he went up, and And then he was like explaining to me that, push down, it goes down, push up, and he was watching. He went like this, and when he went like that, I was like, oh, and
did
it
the
just,
0 G?
yeah, he fucking scared the shit out of me. And I was like, don't do that again, bro, please. He goes, don't do that again. He goes, you okay? Is this safe? And I'm like, he goes, grab the handles, and I grabbed the handles, and he goes, slowly pull up. So I pulled up, and the plane went up. I'm like, okay. He goes, slowly push down. He goes, and so he goes, I go to the right, and he was letting me feel the plane, and he said, how do you feel? I'm like, I'm good. He goes, whatever. We landed, and he goes, did you like it? I'm like, yeah, I kind of liked it, man. It was not bad.
Crazy, right?
It was
that
wild.
First time.
He goes, you want to come back tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow. So I went back the next day. I paid him his money, and we went back up, and he let me have the controls for a little longer. And I said, bro, I think I like this. He goes, you think you want to do this? I was like, yeah, I think I want to do it. So I went back a few more times, and then the owner of the school told me I can do it at a a la carte basis. So I would go
Part 61, where you
Yeah.
take your time and
right. So I did it a la carte, and I liked it. And then the dad came out one time when the instructor was there, and he told him some stuff, and he goes, I couldn't fly that way or whatever. Something happened, and I ended up finding, Hernandez, and Hernandez was not a CFI at the time. So he goes, look, I could show you. I'll charge you this much. I'm not certified, but at least you get the experience.
Maybe we don't want to say this, huh?
Well, but I mean, what are the chances, right? But I was flying with him until he got certified. He goes, I'm supposed to get certified in 2 weeks.
I mean, technically, you can still fly with him. He can still fly.
Right.
You're just not earning hours.
I'm not earning hours, which I didn't have a logbook for that. It's just fine. I was just learning the ropes, right? Getting the hours, getting the reps in. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I wanted to go as much as I can, and I did. Before I logged my first hour in the books, I had about 30 hours with him in the 150.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And when he finally became a CFI, then he finally logged his hours in my book, we would fly up legally now, and he would tell me,
it
bro,
was legal before. You just weren't getting
I wasn't getting hours. And he was telling me while we were flying, he goes, bro, you fly better than my guys who are about to take the
Well, I mean, you had 30 hours.
30 hours, right? And so I was excited, to hear that, number one. Number two, it was good to know that my CFI was confident with me flying his plane, because we were flying his. And I said, look, all I want to know is are you confident if you have an emergency that you're confident in me getting you to the ground safely? Once you tell me that, I'm good, right? Being, approved or whatever, it's another story.
Right.
But we got to that point, we got to that level. And with me, I'm the type of person, or the type of, I work on the fact that if you are investing in me and my business and you're letting me help you and you pay into my thing, I want to get you hooked up with all my hookups.
Right.
And so when he walked and you told me you want to fly, my thing immediately was like, yo, you guys do, and that was how it came about, right? I want to get that. That's how, with the other stuff.
I mean, it was a great experience with him. I took longer than I wanted to. It took a little bit over a year because we were doing it Part 61, where I basically do it at your own pace.
Right.
Ground school I did online. Passed the knowledge exam, then trained for the DPE for the check ride. Passed that, but I think if I would have gone to a school, it would have gone faster. But
right.
I think I like the way I did it because I have freedom and
right. It was at your time, yeah.
In my own terms. And if I really wanted to do it faster, I could have. In the beginning, I did. I mean, I soloed within the first couple of weeks.
Right.
Because I was doing 3-4 flights a week. So my first solo was within 15 hours of having. But my plan for that is a little different from yours. I don't know if you're going to continue doing it.
Yeah, this year I plan to buy a Cessna creatively, which is another thing we want to get into because of what I'm doing now.
Well, I just bought a plane, so we can talk about that.
Right, right. And I want to do it creatively and also put that plane to work after I'm done. Mm-hmm. Because Hernandez's thing was getting his hours so he can go into the airlines.
Yeah, he's not taking on any more students. He's already a pilot. He's a commercial pilot, ATP. Yeah. So he's not. He said it. He's not training anybody else. So
yeah, my whole goal was get my license. So if I want to fly to the Bahamas with my kids to go to the beach, instead of, I'd rather take a half-hour flight to go on the beach in the Bahamas than to take a 40-minute drive to go on the beach on South Beach. You know, it's different. It's a better experience. It's just something 1% of the population can't say they did. You know what I mean? And
What
so
we're trying to do, man.
you know, be that 1%, right? And
Freedom,
so
more freedom.
that's
the,
it.
the reason I have a journal on which I started this year, and yesterday I had wrote in it, one of the best things about my life right now is the freedom. The freedom that the business gives me, the freedom that I have with a plane, the freedom that, I think that's one of my goals in life is just to be free, right? Of not having to do things that for other people that, if I had a boss or something,
Right. Constraints. They suck.
Constraints. So those were. So for you, what's next for Tony Torres? What's next? Iron Temple? Anything big? Anything?
Iron Temple, it's a lot of different things
Let's talk about Spartan
simultaneously.
Body.
Sorry?
Formula. Let's talk about Spartan.
Spartan Body Formula. Spartan
talk
Body
about that.
Formula is what I created in prison, getting in the best shape of your life in the fastest time possible, which I've mastered. But
So
because
what's the usual time frame for that to happen
in my
for your clients that you do?
in
that
90
for?
days,
90
you
days?
should be where you want to be. And the only way you are not there is, you could tell me that.
You don't do what you're supposed to, or your coach
Which
tells you
is,
to.
right, which is what everybody's problem is, right? But before I can make that claim, I had to have done it. I did it in prison. I did it when I came out of prison. I did it in 2021. I did it in 2022. And most recently in 2023, when I was 210 pounds and in 60 days went down to 164 pounds. 60, not 90. So I know if I do it in 60, that in 90 days, you got 30 days of leeway.
Anybody else can do it.
Anybody else can do it. You just have to be willing and able to put up your security, which is your payment, right? Because people will do something more for what they're going to lose than for what they're going to gain.
Yeah.
The fear of loss is a greater motivator than the opportunity to gain, which is, but that's just how the human,
psychology.
right?
That's how humans work.
And so with Spartan Body Formula, it's not only about leveling up your body, but when that hardware or that piece of machinery gets to the 1%, the business by default goes to the 1% because you're not gonna accept anything less than the best. Relationships get elevated, right? Communication gets elevated. Everything is elevated. But when your body is shit and you're fat and you're all messed up and who'd want to do business with somebody like that? Two people being equal?
Very few people.
Very few. Two people being equal, out of shape guy, in shape guy, ask me for a contract.
Mentally, you go
Yeah, you're like,
with the guy who's got shit together.
his T's are crossed, his I's are dotted. His may not be. I mean,
Now you say this too because you have a lot of clients that are high earners, high income earners,
high level people. That's my wheelhouse. Why? Because, when you pay attention.
Yep.
Bottom line. So they have to be at 100% because they're high earners and high. They're dealing with higher level people.
They can't be dealing with their body shutting down on them.
No.
Issues and
Not in the businesses they're in, because they lose, right? And that's just the business. Let's talk about now relationships, right? Are you the same guy your wife married 10 years ago, 20 years ago? You're probably not. Chances are you're a little, 20, 30 pounds overweight. You're not the stud you were when the guy she fell in love with. Your kids now, is this what they got to look forward to? Being fat when they get older? Shit, no. My kid, I remember like it was yesterday. My last transformation, my kid goes, he jumps up, sticks his finger in my belly, he goes, Dad, you're fat. You look like grandpa. Ooh. Bro.
Knife to the heart.
Nah, bro. And then twisted at that. I was like, what? Oh, I was like, holy shit. And I really quick, I had to pivot. My brain pivoted, my life pivoted. That's when I said, no way. And I took out my whiteboard. I did my blueprint. I still have that picture in my whiteboard. And I said, this is what I'm going to do in 30. And I did it to the number. In 30 days, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. This is what I'm going to do. It. I had the whole list down. I'm going to send you a picture so you can put it up. And because my kid said that, I remember when I got in shape and I did the transformation.
That should put you in gear, huh?
It did. And my kids were eating breakfast. I made them breakfast. I was like, guys, it was like, what's up, Dad? I picked up my shirt. I was like, look. I was like, whoa,
So you
Dad.
can show them. They didn't.
I showed them. Yeah, they knew. They knew.
You were doing on the DO for your kids
Until I showed them, and they were like, "Whoa, look at the boxes!" I'm like, "That's right. This grandpa don't have these." So it's a wake up call because they pay more attention than you ever will.
Oh no, 100%.
They model you.
So now you have this program that high income earners use, but you also have this program can be for anybody, right?
For anybody.
Is this something that people have to go to your gym, or can they do it online?
No, we do it remotely. I have somebody in Tampa who lost 98 pounds. They have to be, with the program, everybody has check-ins. You got to check with me every Sunday. Send me your weight, and that weight has to be going down. If it's not, then you're the problem. You're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. This is tried and true. This is the blueprint.
So what do you provide in that blueprint?
The diet,
okay,
or the food plan, the cardio programming, the fitness programming. You get videos. You get to go into the membership area. In the membership area, you have videos. You can never be lost. Just look and follow. I mean, you have to not want to be in shape to not do this. To be fat. It's just you can't fuck it up. It's foolproof. And then, I don't know how to cook. The joke's on you. If you go to video number 7 here, it says cooking. They have all the foods that you have to eat. I cook them on the video. You just look at the video and you can do it.
So you make it dummy proof, kind of.
It is. It has to be dummy proof.
So if you guys want to check out his video, we're gonna put the link in the bottom in the description below. Tony, bro, thank you so much, man. I appreciate this. It's so much fun.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
So much fun. We talk a lot in the gym, and I've known a lot of these stories, but I didn't know a bunch of them too.
Yeah,
so it's fun to hear them, and I love you. If you need anything, let me know.
Appreciate it.
I'm always here to help. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, please put it in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. Thank you so much.